Alright, hello. Welcome to a new live stream. Let me just make sure we're up and running. Yep. Alright, hello. Looks like we're good. Okay. Well, thanks for joining in for another Tuesday Bible sketching. Thanks everyone who's been checking these out and watching these. I've been getting some feedback on people watching these, so that's great. I know it's a new thing and it'll take time to catch on, but I'm just happy to do this for anyone willing to listen or sketch along. So today, as usual, we're going to look at the Bible Gateway verse of the day. For me, it's just easy. You don't have to think about it too much. And I just pulled this up a few minutes ago, and I love this verse. I love the message of this. This is Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Isn't that really satisfying to hear? By the way, I hope everybody's having a good Christmas time and holiday celebrations with family and church services and stuff. I know you can get weary and burdened this time of year, and our family usually does a good job of not getting too busy and not too worried about stuff and overly booked. We've been having a good Christmas break, and I hope you guys are too. For us, it's more of a break because, well, I'm a freelance artist, and so I kind of make my own schedule, and my wife is a teacher, and so she's off for school, and our kids are all off for school, so we kind of have a nice break. So well, I'm going to set up a page here to work on, and I'm going to do something a little different. Just kind of add a little texture here to, let's see, be a little more, doesn't look too dramatic. So some people will take time, they'll kind of prepare their paper. If you're using regular paper, you could use watercolor paper or something and just lay down a wash of watercolor, just kind of lightly. Sometimes it's fun to me it gives kind of this old world feel. Like you've got this real old piece of paper, papyrus. I don't know, on one screen, on my video screen, this is showing up as really intense, and on my drawing monitor it doesn't look too intense, but get it real warm, and maybe I'll just darken it in like I did last time, but I'll just turn the opacity down a little bit. I'm not sure how it's showing up for you guys, but make a new layer and we'll get into drawing. So another thing here, sometimes it's fun to draw with different colors. You can use different colored pencils or different colored pens. Try something that's more of a brown tone, or sometimes I really like doing just a blue ballpoint pen, just a cheap ballpoint pen. Those are nice. I've got a kind of a brown tone here I can draw with. Make sure I got my drawing tool that I like in this program. I like how this one works. And I make this mark over here just so I kind of have two rows that I can draw in. So I'll draw some pictures across the top and some across the bottoms. Alright, so come to me, all who are weary and burdened. All you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I've had an image in my mind, lightly, of Jesus, just being a shepherd. In my mind, it looks very old-fashioned, very classic, maybe 70s, 80s, you know, if your church is really outdated, you've got old artwork in it. That's what I picture. This old picture. As I've mentioned before, you just kind of, when you're sketching, you kind of get the basic shapes in. I've done so many watched so many art tutorials, art instruction courses, and read a lot of books, and boy, I don't know what sheep look like, man. About laying those basic shapes. You don't have to, the details come later. That's a very amateur thing to do. The noses of the sheep. They don't have to look perfect. Most of these are looking like dogs. I think sheep have bigger necks, something like that. And this is where, like, so you can sketch your idea out. You know, I could go and pull up some reference, and I really should. Well, right now I should not. This is part of sketching. Like, get your idea out. Later you can, you know, if you want to develop an idea, that's when you can look up reference and try to get it right. See, a lot of people will get too worried that, like, you know, like me right now, I have the feelings of, these are looking like dogs, and everybody's, you know, people are watching this video, this is embarrassing, and you know, those ideas are swirling in my idea out, and it's kind of like making a little note, a little memo for myself of this idea. So, and I had said, you know, I've had this idea in my mind of Jesus being a shepherd and these old pictures, so I've kind of had that concept, but the way I'm drawing this is not what I've pictured in my mind. This is a little different. I guess because the verse itself is making me think of it in a specific way. So just imagine here Jesus, the Good Shepherd, is tending to his flock. We are his flock, and we can come to him. He's calling for us to come to him. That's what the verse says. He's telling us to come to him. All of you who are weary, all of you who are burdened. Kind of this last quarter of the year. Well, probably the second half of the year. The Holy Spirit really has counseled me in understanding just how much I can bring to him. Just the other night, this is very relevant to this verse, but I just haven't been sleeping well lately. I'm tired, but it's like I lay down and I just can't sleep, and my mind's not necessarily active either. I don't know what's going on. And the other night, I was up and I was frustrated about it. I was just like, oh man, this is terrible for me. Like, I know I need sleep. I'm going to be slowing down a lot and having health issues, and my mind's going to go kind of crazy if I know I get more angry or frustrated easily when I'm tired. So I was just frustrated about it, and I just kind of heard that voice. Those of you know that voice of the Lord saying, hey, I can help you with this. You don't have to keep this to yourself. You don't have to think in such a worldly way that, oh, how can I, with my own control, solve this problem? You know, there are certainly things we can do, and this is like how we all tend to do it. This is the way of the world. We control our own life. That's our perspective so many of us have. That's what's rooted on in this world. And so for the instance of sleep, I start thinking of um, how can I make myself buy a new bed or pillow, or I should get this noisemaker, or I start thinking of all these things I can control that will solve the problem. And I've got the greatest counselor in the world living in me who can tell me exactly what to do, and maybe he'll lead me to do those physical things, those things that I can control. But the thing is, I don't know which thing is the thing to do. And that's why we need the good counselor, the good counsel of the Holy Spirit. All right. I'm not really adding a whole lot. I feel like I'm just sketching around and not much is happening, but I'm going to just leave this real abstract like this for now. Maybe I'll come back to it. You know what? This is another idea I've had in mind. I think I was calling this the longing man. Reference photos that I took. So I was struggling with the position of the guy. He's got kind of a weird twist. I would encourage you, if you're sketching along, especially with a verse like this, you can make this very personal. You can draw yourself in your weary state. And, it kind of allows you to just see yourself in your state. And then kind of add whatever you want to remind yourself, that God is there. You can draw yourself in your specific weary state, and then add Jesus, add angels, add helpers all around you to help you to dwell on the thought that you have this help. Maybe you don't trust it, maybe you don't believe it, but just try drawing it out. Just I do not give you a spirit of fear. So if you have a spirit of fear, that's not from God. The Bible says He doesn't speak that way. You might allow for it. You might allow fear in, and that fear can drive you. And you may also be questioning, like in Proverbs, it says, the beginning of wisdom is to fear the Lord. And I don't want to get into that too much, but my understanding is that's a different kind of fear. That's kind of a respect fear. All right, so this guy's got kind of I'm just doing sort of a drapery thing. I'm someone who I like just sort of the human figure. There's a movie, it's called something Ecstasy. Why can't I think of it now? It's about, it's an old movie with Charlton Heston. And it's about Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel. And he's painting, he's working on the painting, and all the bishops come in to check it out. And they see the nude figures on the ceiling. And they're just like, this is terrible. This is a house of God. How could you do this? And Michelangelo gets really frustrated, and I can't remember. Maybe I didn't mention this is about Michelangelo. Sorry, my mind's drawing and I'm talking here. But a little later, the Pope, I think it's the Pope, comes in to talk to him privately, and he was like, "Is this really how you want to do this?" And he said, Michelangelo tells him, "This is how God made us. I want to paint man in all his glory, And I think he's working on the part where it's that classic God reaching out his hand and touching, and Adam is laying back and they're kind of touching hands or pointing to each other or something. I don't get to think about like the nude figure. That is can be that, like, yeah, we need to be sensitive to that, and something's not right about how this is coming together. But at the same time, I have discovered for myself, see, I didn't grow up like with being exposed to nude art and all that, and so getting into art, it was kind of like, maybe looking at this or drawing this or whatever. Put some shadows in here. But the more I learned about it, and I just have developed a great respect for how God made us. Alright, so I'm okay with that. There's definitely some weird things. This arm is weird. But so yeah, I've had this image in my mind where this guy is just like reaching out to God. Oh, and I'm forgetting the the chat over here. Thanks, Rochelle. You said so true about something that I said. I don't know when you said that. Maybe you can let me know what that was in reference to. All right. Yeah, I was talking about this pose and everything. I've just felt this way so much, where I'm just, my body is like I was laying down. I'm tired. Of the way things are going, but I'm with all my strength trying to lift up my head, lift up my body, reach up to God and say, Lord, come. But I think at the same time when I was doing this, I was doubting. I'm reaching up, but I'm dwelling on my lowly state of the body that I can't pick up. Sometimes the worry in this guy looks more like a kid. His eyes get a little more wearisome. How are we doing on time? 9:20. The time doesn't really matter. I can go however long I want. I'm trying to make these about a half hour. Alright, he looks a little more worried and intense. His hands don't look like they're folded, but that's okay. Fast. As slow or fast as you want, but don't worry too much about details. Let's see if I can just really make this guy. Change the angle here. So for arms, a lot of times I'll place like where's the shoulder and where are the hands, and then that helps to kind of figure out where the two arm segments should go. I don't know what his body's doing here. Don't worry about the body part. A better cartoonist could probably build that up even more. We started here and then we added a little more. And honestly, this is a good thing to do with sketching. Like my longing man here. I could sketch that again. Try to make some improvements, try some different things. Same thing with Jesus as the Good Shepherd. I could try some different composition ideas. All the sheep here. The dog-looking sheep. I could try different arrangements with them, different angles. Right now I've got them all in profile, and that's kind of because I'm just not used to drawing sheep. But let's see. I'm going to go back to the verse. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Let's focus on that rest part. That would be fun to think about. Alright, this is going to be kind of Lord of the Rings inspired. Kind of the beginning of the first movie, Fellowship of the Rings. I'm not like a crazy fan of it. I really like Lord of the Rings, but I'm not one of these fanatics or whatever. But there's a scene at the beginning that's Frodo, and he's just relaxing by a tree. The real soft grass. You could imagine there's like no bugs to bother you. It's a very peaceful. I'm getting into too many details there before I establish the rest of the body. Put a leg up just to make it a little more interesting. His arms are kind of wrapped over his body. We're kind of crowding into that thing up there. Let's see. Let's just move this over here. And I got a little more room. I'm going to say this guy fell asleep because I want to sleep. I want to be able to sleep better. So this is, I'll say this was just representing me. I was reading, but then I set my book aside. And I'm just resting. Eyes are closed. Mouth is a little open. Drooling probably. You all drool. I know you do. My beard. Sure how to make a specific part like a hand, or you don't want to take the time to draw it, just draw a circle, draw some kind of shape to represent it. And here it is summer. It's warm. Looks like I have a big belly there. There's trees in the back. This is one I could see playing with more, trying some different things. I've mentioned before just about thinking of the main flow of your piece, and I know we're at 9:30. I'm going to maybe try another one. I feel like I've been talking a lot and drawing really slow this week. But we've got kind of this flow of the tree, and then down his leg. And you can use those shapes to really so this is a restful piece. Rest is usually indicated with like a nice horizontal